I think this piece is by far one of the pieces that I've had the most fun in over the last few months. And that's not to say I don't enjoy painting my other pieces, but this was just so fun to conceptualize and just like let loose and just paint. So for those of you who know me well, I am a big fan of Studio Ghibli and all the beautiful movies and anime characters that comes with the whole franchise. And I love food as well. And I know I'm like not like the top graded foodie that I need like Michelin star food, but like I love the conceptualization of enjoying food and appreciating food with good friends and family. So for this piece, I'm gonna be doing a composite of a lot of different movie characters from Studio Ghibli. Of course, just like a fan art inspired piece, along with like food that I really enjoy. Some are just like fun foods that are not really nutritious, I might say, but like happy snacks. So this is a Studio Ghibli fan art inspired piece of a map of good food, or maybe just like good snacks. So I unfortunately didn't do a full art time lapse where you can see from beginning to finish of the piece. So I'm just doing mini clips of the various parts, and hopefully it will show you a good enough process of how I got from beginning to end. One of the reasons I didn't do an art time lapse where like you usually have like a focus of my art piece as I paint like ultra fast is because I actually had a really hard time conceptualizing this piece as a whole, and it took me much longer than I expected to finish. One of the reasons because there are a lot of different components to this piece. Each food item and each character, I had to think meticulously about how I will combine them together, and I didn't want too many replications of like characters in the same movie, and I was thinking about like how each one would stand out a little bit more in like different types of snacks and foods that I like. So you're gonna find donuts, chips, popcorn, maybe like a nice iced tea or smoothie, lots of different types of food. I originally drew my inspiration from various images that I would scout out. So here I am doing a banana piece, and at this point I figure I'm just gonna do a character. I don't really know what kind of character, and then it wasn't until later that I figured oh man, I'm gonna do the radish god. I don't really need a kind of like a neutral apricot skin tone there. So for this one, it's pretty obvious for this piece in the corner is going to be Totoro, my neighbor Totoro inspired fan art. I think I'm going to do a coffee cup or maybe like a tea or hot chocolate cup in the corner here. I'm going to have like a whipped cream that's going to dash on the top of his head, and he'll just be chilling in a cup of warm beverage. I mean, who doesn't love a warm beverage? I love a hot tea on a cold winter day, especially you're just hanging out and just chilling and enjoying maybe the sun outside while you're in the coziness of your own home. Another snack or food I really like is frozen yogurt or ice cream. So here I'm just working on the texture of the ice cream cone itself. Just being really careful and meticulous about the details. So you can see the piece is divided into like many different characters. I think there's a total of 12 different characters, 12 different snacks here. And I didn't do a good job spacing out the pieces, partly because I didn't really know what I was going to draw in the beginning, which is a little unfortunate. So I'll probably have to do some photoshopping to move things around. Here I thought I'll add the radish god for the frozen yogurt. And I just love this character. I think it's just so iconic, so representative of Spirited Away. I love how chill he is and just like so nonchalant as well for his attire. So I knew I wanted to include this character. I don't think it's like an all-time favorite character for a lot of people, but it's just one that is very special to my heart. And so yeah, I decided that was one of the first characters that I established that I want to include in this kind of poster. And then as I edge on, I knew I was going to do a dumpling piece. So you see there's like a dumpling in the middle. And then there is a donut one that's in the corner along with like a nigiri salmon or Totoro nigiri somewhere on the top there. So looking closer, you can see this is the donut piece that's going to be inspired by Mei from My Neighbor Totoro. I feel like she is such an iconic character. I love her innocence throughout the entire piece, so I thought I'll include her. My kids actually really enjoyed me painting this piece because I think it's not as dark, and like they love the playful colors, and like they don't recognize the characters because they haven't really seen the movies itself, but they recognize the food, which they get really excited about. And who wouldn't be excited about food, right? So here I'm gonna do a dumpling one, which I think I'll have Calcifer, a character from Howl's Moving Castle, holding on to that giant dumpling and just being like red hot, enjoying a good piece of dumpling. All right, next I'm gonna just add some highlights. I'm not set on the color scheme just yet in terms of what I want to include, whether it will be like a warmer color tone or a cool palette. I have a feeling when I don't decide on a palette right now, I usually end up going with a cooler palette at the end because it's like my comfort zone. So we'll see what happens. So speeding things up, I'm adding a little bit of blue right away. You can see it's a noticeably cooler palette because blue, this cobalt blue that I have is a little bit cooler. I'm using my acrylic gouache, adding a bit of orange and red to make Calcifer a little bit more fiery. You can see for the chips I'm painting right now is for Kiki from Kiki's Delivery Service, and then the ice drink on the corner here is from Arietti, and then there's Ponyo sleeping on top of a nigiri rice patty, and then there is Princess Mononoke on top of a stack of pancakes. Just zooming in for you to see how I add on the highlights. It's actually one of the things I really enjoy. That's when the piece really comes together and you can start noticing what the characters and how it kind of defines the piece a bit more. Because up to this point I'm just doing shadows and backgrounds and it's just like big blobs of art, so that don't look as cool until I add in the outlines. So I really enjoy doing outlines, but I really have to pace myself not to add outlines too early in the beginning. So here I'm doing a popcorn piece with Susu Wataris, the suit sprites, as well as No Face just hanging out in a box of popcorn because I thought that would be really funny. I'm not really sure what I plan on doing with this entire piece at the end of this. Am I gonna make a print out of it? Am I gonna make stickers? Am I gonna like make them into like keychains? I actually don't have immediate plans to monetize this. It's more of a fun piece for me to do and just practice my art and just kind of exercise my creative muscles in integrating these various Studio Ghibli characters into all these wonderful yummy foods. So here I have my favorite instant noodle cup, which I love. Probably not good for me at all, but I just love. So here I'm using my Sakura jelly roll in the white ink to add on highlights. I've loved this medium of how it integrates really well with acrylic gouache. Feel like almost like a cheater way of adding white highlights. But over the years, I've enjoyed it so much. I've integrated the style into majority of my art pieces that do integrate gouache into it. So here's Mei sitting in the middle of a donut. A pink icing donut, no less. I think it's just like such a fun color. It's like a Mei color. Here you can see I have Ponyo lying asleep, deep sleep. And then there's these maki sushis on the side. Just thought it was such a fun looking piece. And I know people, when they see it, they'll recognize that as Ponyo if you are a Ponyo fan with that fiery kind of orange hair. And then just adding my white highlights on here. It just makes a difference when you add the white highlights on. Just really jumps out the piece. Here adding on white highlights for this coffee or a chocolate cup. Not really sure, can't decide on what it is, but you see there is a mini Totoro on the side just kind of peeking behind the saucer dish and like the coffee cup there. And again there is Princess Mononoke. I was debating whether I should add the wolf on top of this, but I thought it looked fine the way it is. And I thought I'll have her sit on top of a stack of pancakes, and I just love pancakes for some reason. I think or hotcakes. I think I like the idea of it more than eating it, to be honest. Sometimes I just love the idea of looking at it, something so sweet, but when I eat it, I always kind of regret it afterwards. Or at least I enjoy the first few bites. Don't know about you guys. Have the same experience with some foods as well? Just like the idea of it more than actually eating it. So that piece with chips is actually Kiki, and you can see there's Gigi on the side there. And then here, this is Arietti with like iced lemon drink. You can see I used the white highlighter, the jelly roll, to add on like the little slices of lemon on the inside if you look a little bit closely, and I thought that was just so cute. Using my white jelly roll, I'm just adding the eyes for the Susu Atari, the suit sprites. And this is a technique I've been using for a lot of my pieces, just like leaving the hole on the inside to represent the eyes. And then for calcifer, I want to use the white to kind of highlight some of the glistening from the tips of some of the flames that are spanning from calcifer from House Moving Castle, and as well as some of the dumplings as well. I just thought it was so cute. Okay, next I have Howl from House Moving Castle in the dark kind of blue hair coming out of a banana split, along with some kiwis and strawberries on the side. Personally, I'm a big fan of bananas, and I love banana flavored desserts, including like banana milk as well, included in that. And I just thought I'll include that. And then here there is a Subway or a sandwich with Chichiro from Spirited Away with a no face mask that she is hanging on the side of her head. Just thought it was so cute, her peeking out of a sandwich. Somehow for my daughter herself, she actually liked this particular one out of all the different foods that I showed in this poster here. She just really likes this one for some reason. So we'll see how things go. She kind of wants this piece for her bedroom, which I don't think really fits with the theme, but she wants a lot of artwork in her bedroom, which I kind of like that she enjoys my artwork and she enjoys various art pieces and she wants to decorate her room with it. So here is my son making a cameo in my video. He just wants to be part of it, so he decided to put his hand in the middle. You may be seeing more cameo of my children participating in some of these videos coming up. I hope you enjoyed this art time lapse of Studio Ghibli inspired fan art, Good Eats. It's certainly a poster that I really enjoy doing. I'm not yet sure what I'm going to do with the piece. There's my kids coming in, showing their interest on their favorite parts of the artwork. So yeah, you'll see more cameos of their arms and like their hands and fingers coming up. Here's a closer look at some of the various characters. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining me on this video, and I'll see you next time. Stay safe and stay creative, everyone. Bye for now.